Hello, friends. Again, I greet you with the words of the Lord Jesus. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be with you. It is the evening of July 5th. I hope that everyone has made it through this weekend in good health, in good spirits, as we've had a chance to observe American independence on this 4th of July weekend. Per the pattern for these reflections that I established a couple of weeks back, I wanted to take this time to go through one of the passages that we didn't preach from in the course of worship this morning. And if you had a chance to look at live stream worship today, you'll remember perhaps that I preached out of the passage in Matthew chapter 11 where Jesus talks about his generation and their faithlessness. There was the lesson in Genesis that talked about the arrangement of the marriage between Isaac and Rebekah. And then there was the passage in Romans chapter 7. And of the two remaining passages, I'm probably more intrigued by what Paul happens to write in Romans 7, and the verses we covered today were verses 15 through 25a. It's a very famous passage of the Apostle Paul as he talks about the nature of the war being waged within us. And Paul speaks of that frustration, knowing that there is the desire, the seed to want to do good, but yet inside this body of ours, there seems to be something at war with that desire to do better and to be better. And Paul expresses that in very frank terms. He says that the good that he wants to do, he is somehow unable to do. And the evil that he does not want to do is the very thing that he winds up doing. We have ideas of what needs to be done, but somehow we are unable to be able to follow through and do them properly. It's not a matter of not knowing, but it seems to be that the earthly, fleshly nature within us prevents us from being able to do what we know is right in our heart of hearts. And sometimes that conflict can be very strong and very powerful. We know that there are things within us that we would like to be able to tame and put under control, but yet we struggle mightily with that. And I think that's universal for the human condition. We all know that we have weaknesses and things that we have to battle with and find some way to be able to deal with on a daily basis sometimes. I think back to a story that I had seen once on a video clip where Bill Curry, who was a former college football coach and had played 2 seasons in Green Bay during the Vince Lombardi era as a center, 1965 through 1966. There was a story involving an exchange that he had with quarterback Bart Starr. And Bart Starr had informed Bill Curry that the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Vince Lombardi, was a daily communicant. As a devout Catholic, he went to Mass every day. And having had a chance to observe Vince Lombardi as a coach, Bill Curry was very much surprised that Vince Lombardi was a daily communicant. And Bart Starr said, the more that you have a chance to work with the man, the more you know that he needs to be in church every day. I think Vince Lombardi would have been the first one to admit that he battled mightily with impatience and anger and recognized those as traits within himself that he tried very hard to harness and correct. I think we all have those weaknesses within us that we know we should be able to do better with, but we are not able to do better with. And Paul expresses, that anguish inside by saying, "Wretched man that I am, who will save me from this body of death?" What Paul relies on at the end is not his ability, his knowledge to be able to tame these things, but it is the power of God through Jesus Christ and the grace that is offered there that helps make that struggle endurable and helps us to make what progress is there to be made. That battle to become all that we could and should be, all that we're called to be, is a very real one for us. And I hope that in our own journeys we can not only appreciate the tension between what is and what we'd like to be, but that we can also trust in the grace of God to help us through those moments. Until we have a chance to meet again, Shalom Aleichem, peace be with you.